What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. If you don't like it, you can have that seatbelt.
All right, so we have to talk about this Nintendo Partner Direct. So this morning, Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct, but it was focused solely on third parties, and it was pretty interesting. One of the interesting things about it, at least from my standpoint, was the fact that the majority of the larger games shown during this Direct just happened to be games that I told you guys would come to the Switch 2. Like we have showcase was Indiana Jones on the Switch 2. If you guys remember, I was actually the first person to tell you guys Indiana Jones and the Great Circle would come to the Switch 2. The new Turok was officially announced for the Nintendo Switch 2. Like I told you guys, that game was coming to the Switch 2 back in 2024. We have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was shown with the official date for the game. It's actually coming out very soon. What else? There was a couple games. But anyway, so what they showed on this Direct, there were a lot of games that were already announced. There's games that were rumored. There was a few surprises here and there, but for the most part, I guess people would say that a lot of the games that they were expecting to be shown or officially announced for the first time were absent at this show. And there's something that people need to realize what Nintendo is doing strategically with the Switch 2. And I mentioned this before. And that's one of the reasons why learning my lesson from the last time when there was a partner direct and I thought that all these games that I knew were coming out or I was hearing about that was coming out or were rumored to come out, that they were all going to just be this big blowout and announce all these games then, and they announced hardly any of those games. That told me right there, one, to not do prediction videos of what games I thought were going to be there, because even the games that I know are coming to the system, the way Nintendo's handling things, there's no way to know if those games are going to actually be there. And like we've seen what just actually happened with Nate the Hate. Yes, his sources are 100%, but when it comes to trying to guess what games are going to be at an event, it's very hard to do. Even if these games have even been rated from the ESRB or PEGI and stuff like that right before the event, we've even seen that those games, some of those games didn't even get shown at this Direct. Now, the reason for that is that, and it's something that I mentioned last year, Nintendo is being strategic with their releases of these third-party games. And they're doing this on purpose because they want all of these major games to have great sales. So they're not going to announce all these games all at once, because if you do that, people will already in their brain and set aside, oh, I can't buy this because I'm waiting for this. This is going to come out in a few months, or this is going to come out at the end of the year. I got to make sure I have money for this. The way that they are announcing and placing these games so that you don't know what's coming next is that you're focusing on what they want you to focus on right now. And when they're doing that, it's going to make people buy more games and not focus so much on what's coming and focus more on what's presented to them in the near future. Because if you notice, the large majority of the games that they showed are coming out soon. Some of these games come out next week. Some of these games came out today. Like, that's their strategy. So I've seen a lot of people online. They're like, well, where's Call of Duty? Well, where's this game? Where's this game, Trey? They're coming. But Nintendo is being selective on what games they announce at certain times. They are working with these third parties to do this. Now, in terms of games like say a Call of Duty or something like that, or games that people were expecting to be at this direct that weren't announced. You got to remember something. So this was a third-party direct, right? Third-party focus. So people were expecting all the big third-party games that come out this year to all be announced at this direct. But there's one thing that you guys are forgetting here. Nintendo will have a general direct in the very near future. Now, it's probably not going to be this month, but like I said on Twitter a couple weeks ago, people were whining about this being a partner direct. Expect a direct either next month or the following month. So expect a general direct in either March or April, right? Now, what's one thing that general directs always have? Third-party game announcements. There has never, ever been a general direct that didn't have third-party game announcements. So some of these games that you guys are waiting to be announced, or some of these games that you expected to be announced at this direct, could possibly still be announced during Nintendo's next general direct, because a general direct is never 100% first party, while a partner direct is always full third parties, and an indie direct is always indie games 100%. Nintendo general directs are never 100% first party games. It's always like half third party games. So expect some big third party announcements during the next general direct, and you can probably expect that either next month or the month after. And even if those games aren't announced then, they're still going to be, it's still early in the year. You're probably going to have another general direct around July. And then you're going to have another general direct around September. There's plenty of time for these games to be announced and still come out this year. It is only the beginning of February. Now, moving on, we got to talk about something that's very interesting that's going on here. So, Switch 2 footage of Pragmata and Indiana Jones has been shown, and there's been some comparison videos between the PlayStation 5 version of Pragmata versus the Switch 2, and also the Xbox Series X version of Indiana Jones versus the Switch 2 version. And it's very interesting to see Nintendo haters' reactions to this game, to these games, to how these games look. Because dudes is out here just straight up lying. Just straight up lying. So, first things first. Nobody is saying that Pragmata on the Switch 2 looks the same or looks better than it does on the PlayStation 5. But we got people out here saying that it looks like crap compared to the PlayStation, compared to the Switch 2 version, and that is a straight up lie. So it's funny, I quoted one of these tweets, and all I did was post an emoji, like pretty much like the really nigga emoji, because yes, the PlayStation 5 version does look better, but it doesn't look so much better that it makes the Switch 2 version look like crap. Like literally, obviously the hair isn't as detailed. There's a different hair model on the Switch 2 version. It's the same thing with Resident Evil. It's the same thing with Final Fantasy. But the main difference is the hair and the fact that the Switch 2 version seems to have depth of field disabled, and also the bloom lighting is turned down like a lot. But even with that, it still looks pretty. The Switch 2 version still looks good. It looks good enough to where it doesn't look like crap compared to the PlayStation 5 version. But lo and behold, you have these Switch 2 haters, these Nintendo haters talking about it's blurry, it looks terrible, it looks unplayable, it looks like it's hilarious. It's like these people know that it looks impressive, so they have to go out of their way to just straight up lie. Now, another interesting thing here, I saw this comparison with Indiana Jones, and the Switch 2 version holds up pretty well. I did see one thing in particular that I was like, oh, okay, that's where the downgrade is. So if you look at this comparison here, you see that the water looks significantly pared down on the Switch 2 compared to the Xbox Series X version. And remember, the Xbox Series X is stronger than even the vanilla PlayStation 5. So you got to take that into perspective also. But yes, in this comparison here, it looks like the water is pared down considerably. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's where they make the cutbacks. But then it's weird. In the same video, I actually saw a scene or two where the Switch 2 version actually looks arguably better than the Xbox Series X version, which it could be because it has a much better anti-aliasing solution, but I don't know. But in these specific shots, the Switch 2 version looks actually better than the Xbox Series X version to me, which tells me that maybe unless the water is very hard to render on the Switch 2, or this could be a texture bug, or it could just be what it is right now. It's an unfinished game. So I expect the water to actually probably maybe even be fixed on the Switch 2 by the time it comes out, or after a patch or whatever. So the main issue that I have with the Switch 2 version graphically versus the Xbox Series X version may in fact be a texture bug. But other than that, this game looks pretty phenomenal on the Switch 2. And that's pretty crazy, considering that, one, this game was, at least in quotations only, it was a former Xbox exclusive. So former Xbox exclusive, the file size is way smaller than the other versions. And actually, the only game, or the only version of this game to actually be truly physical. Yes, Indiana Jones on the Switch 2 will actually be fully on the cart. This game isn't even fully on the disc on Xbox and PlayStation 5. So that's a big deal. So all you guys that hate the game keys, yeah, you might want to make sure that you buy this game. It's fully on the cart. It looks good. Looks like it plays good. Also, I know some people are like, wait, it's $70? I mean, yeah, it is $70. Like, first of all, it's new to Nintendo. And second, even the PlayStation 5 version, I believe on PSN, is $55, and that's without the DLC. This game comes with the DLC. That's $15. So yeah, it's pretty much the same price as it costs on the PlayStation 5 if you buy it digitally. Maybe you can find it cheaper physically at a store, but in terms of the digital price, like, it's pretty much the same. It's the same price as the PlayStation 5 version, even though the PlayStation 5 version came out a while ago. But yeah, I thought the Direct was pretty good. Now, like I said, there were some games that I expected to be there that weren't there. But like I said, this is Nintendo's strategy. This is what they're doing. Now, there was one game there that actually did surprise me, and it was a game called Tokyo Scramble. Now, when I first watched the Direct at work, I watched it. It was on my phone, of course. And when I saw it on my phone, I was like, oh man, this Tokyo Scramble, it looks pretty good. And then I rewatched the Direct at home on my TV, and I was like, oh, this Tokyo Scramble, it looks aight. Yeah, it looked better on my phone than it actually did on the TV. But the game actually, it is an original game. It actually does look fun. It's just not all the way up to snuff when it comes to the production values. But I think part of that is that this is not from some big developer. Like, I don't even think I've ever heard of this developer. And it's probably not a full price game. And it actually looks like it comes out next week. So, yeah, I don't know. It looks like that one was a kind of a surprise to me because I didn't see that one coming. And it looked like it could be okay. But all in all, I thought the showing was pretty good. It just didn't have every single game, third-party game that we know is coming to the Switch 2. But that seems to be by design. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you guys plan to pick any of these games up? Hopefully you do, because there's actually some really good games that's coming to the Switch 2 from third parties in the near future. Let me know what you guys thought about the Direct, and I'll see you guys on the next video.